I'm here with Dylan Hintz. He's a part of the, well, actually one of the leader of the DC Stunt Coalition, and they put on a great performance here at MAGFest. They got some great video. So, what inspired you to create the DC Stunt Coalition?
Well, basically the DC Stunt Coalition came about in around 2011, I believe that was when we started. I was a stunt performer at Six Flags America in 2009 during my last summer at college. And basically what happened is I came home from college. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I worked some temp jobs and I went on Craigslist and I found a bunch of independent films in the DC area. After that, I realized from going set to set on independent films that there were martial artists and gymnasts and dancers and just random people choreographing fights and doing stunt work on independent films. And some of them were doing a great job and some of them weren't, but they were all doing things really differently and in different languages. So I created a Facebook group back before pages were out. We just put everybody in the Facebook group and I said, hey, why don't we talk about stuff? Why don't we talk about safety? That's where the conversation started. We had one night where we had a 45-minute long conversation about safety with 30 different people that consider them stunt people in the DC area. From there on, we started training at gyms until we got a facility in Rockville called Marva Tots and Teens, and we've been training there ever since. This is year 3, and we go there every Sunday night for 5 hours. We work together. We're working on getting a second night in a second location, and that's been the escalation of it.
That's really cool. And about how many cast members do you guys have now?
Cast members, I would say in terms of our core group, we have about 15 performers that we can call on at any time that we know are absolutely A-team members that work with us. Our cast for the show I think was about 15 people. I've never been able to get the count right. Either I forget to count myself or I forget to count somebody who's so awesome that I'm just like, oh, why are they even with us? They're so good. We're all really, really dedicated and working really hard. The facility itself in the training session is a revolving door. Some people come in, some people go out. It depends on where they're at in their career.
And I noticed that you guys put on a whole story with everything. When do you guys start working on the story, and kind of what inspired it for this year?
So typically when we do an appearance at a convention or a festival, we do a workshop like we did here, where we do fight choreography training mixed in with skits, so that we go from training, watch a show, training, watch a show, training, watch a show, and these skits usually be 3 to 5 minutes long. What happened was that we went to MAGFest 8.5 and we did that kind of show, and it actually worked out really well. The script for that show, however, had to be changed at the very last minute because one of our people had an emergency and had to drop out the night before the show. So we wrote the entire thing in about 3 hours in the hotel room the night before, and we just said we're just going to go with it. It went really well. MAGFest 8.5 was a big experiment for both MAGFest and for us. So we put on the show, everybody that showed up really enjoyed it, and actually one of the heads of MAGFest, Paul Good, showed up, watched almost all of it, even recorded some of it on his DSLR, and you can see some of that footage in our MAGFight promo. And he just said, you know what, you guys need to come to 13 and you need to do whatever you want. That was the Pandora's box that he opened, because we said, okay, what can we do? We can do our workshop, but this is our really big opportunity because they were going to give us rooms and sponsor us as guests. Like, we have guest badges for the first time ever at a convention. It's really awesome. They put us in rooms. They gave us the opportunity, so we said we're going to take it all the way. We decided to write a full-length, hour-long stunt show with a full narrative, and we thought, what can we do to make this customized for MAGFest? So we researched the kind of panels that are here, the kind of core sort of fun games and things that people like. I'm a huge fan of pop culture. I am a nerd. I play video games. I watch movies. I know some comic books. That's not my strong suit, but we threw in things that we knew the audience would enjoy because we wanted to make a show that would make them go, yes, this is a show about us. So we created The Legend of Zelda, Gamers Against the Grimdark, and we just went with it and we said, well, we've got fights, but we want to tell a story and we want to have characters, and you guys saw the end result, so I hope you enjoyed that.
I absolutely enjoyed it. I know my cameraman JD enjoyed it. He saw it. So how long does it take you guys to prepare for that show?
This was an experiment for us. We had never done a full live show on our own before. Like, we've only done these skits. Typically, we know about 10 weeks ahead of time whether or not we're going to be performing. For Otakon this previous year, we had 5 weeks, so that actually put us really behind the ball, and that made us really intimidated. But then we took the fights that were right for that, and 3 weeks later was MAGFest 8.5, so we built some of that into there, and we created some new stuff, and it went really well. For this show, we knew we were coming, but we didn't know exactly what we were doing until about 3 months ahead of time. So we had maybe about 12 weeks to prepare the show, but because our training facility is only open on Sundays and our schedules are all random and it was totally volunteer, that means we really only had maybe a total of 20 days of practice for this show.
Wow, and I have to say, for those 20 days, it actually came out really good. You guys must have been working like hell.
It did. We worked our butts off every time we were in the gym. We would rehearse. We did line readings at homes when we couldn't do fight calls. We did fight calls when we didn't have the full cast. Anytime that we had spare time to bring people together, we absolutely did it. The writing process was ongoing throughout the process of creating the show, so just like your craziest Hollywood script, it was like, wait, we gotta fix this, and we gotta adjust that. We literally finished writing and adjusted the last scene in the cut scene about the night it was shot. And some of that might show, but some of that's also because we wanted to make sure that we ended on a note that the fans would appreciate. The total preparation time, I would say, was about 3 months, maybe 100 hours or so put into it. I will tell you this, the reason why it worked out is because we have an amazing cast and we diversified what we were doing. So there's a lot of characters, so we could split up the time and give everybody a moment to shine without putting the full brunt of the weight of the show on any one specific group of people.
And you mentioned earlier that you guys would have long conversations about safety. What kind of safety goes into a show like you put on the other day?
That is an incredibly important and good question. We do not joke about safety. Safety is the #1 thing with the DC Stunt Coalition. If you look us up, our mission statement is to help make independent films in our area safer. A show like what we just did, my mind almost blanked. A show like we just did requires a lot of different elements. We knew what kind of stage we would have. We knew they would be a bunch of risers cobbled together. Therefore, we knew we needed pads not just for our falls, but to keep us safe from the lips in between the risers. We knew that those risers might only be able to handle so much weight, but we knew that they were structurally supported. So we did our research and we made sure that any impact that we did on that stage would be safe ahead of time. We also got a ton of pads. There was only one thin layer of pads on the stage for the show, but around the perimeter of the stage, every single place you could drop off of, except for the front, was covered in pads. And then we made sure to choreograph where people were going during the fight. We practiced by blocking out the size of the stage and seeing, well, you're going off the stage here, you're going off the stage here, and that helped us delegate which pads would go where to make people the safest. So when we know that Jigglypuff is always falling off that side of the stage, and we know he's going to do big falls, we put thicker padding there. When it comes to the actual fights, we used stage combat, specific safety techniques. We made sure to stack our hits. When we did body hits, we made sure that people were comfortable with what they had to do. We made sure that we knew what was going into each fight. None of the fights are improvised, clearly. They're all choreographed. Yes.
Wow, so yeah, that sounds like a lot of work, and again, it paid off. You guys did great. This is DC Stunt Coalition. Where can we find you?
We are on Facebook. You can find us at facebook.com/DC Stunt Coalition. We have our own website. It is www.dcstuntcoalition.org. You can tweet at us at DC Stunt Co. Just Google us. We are the only stunt coalition in DC. I hope that's an easy way to find us. We have a YouTube account. We might try and do Instagram at some point. You can find us at different festivals. If you really liked us, tell MAGFest. Go at MAGFest or hi MAGFest. DC Stunt Co. ruled. Our show, The Legend of Zelda Gamers Against the Grimdark, has its own Facebook page. You can look that up, fan that, like our content. We put up a lot of character profile pictures and everything. Tell us what you loved, and we will give you more.
And if someone wants to join you guys, how would they do that? Just final question.
Brilliant final question. We are located in Rockville, Maryland at Marva Tots and Teens. We train Sunday nights from 4:30 to 9:30. We would appreciate an email ahead of time, dcstuntcoalition@gmail.com, or through the contact form on our website. You can also message us on any of the other social media outlets I just mentioned. Be sure to let us know you want to come in. We welcome anyone and everyone to give us a try. Even if you don't intend to take this as a career, we love working with different bodies, different body types, different people, actors, stuntmen, dancers, fighters, martial artists. You are all welcome to come and give us a shot. Even if you want to just do something different as a workout activity, we're an alternative fitness group as well. We do basics in parkour, stage combat, gymnastics, all that stuff.
All right, well, thank you, Dylan, and I wish you guys luck in the future.